Is this your little cactus?
Uh-huh.
Any particular reason you put it where the alarm clock used to be?
I thought it would dress up the room a little bit. Oh, gee, you know, I meant to tell you to be careful before you slammed your hand on the alarm this morning.
Well, you didn't.
Sorry.
It's okay, I stopped the bleeding with your slip.
Remember when Sunday nights meant getting your homework done just in time to catch your favorite shows before bed? In the fall of 1987, Sunday night TV was a full-on buffet of family dramas, sitcom chaos, and the occasional werewolf. No, seriously, it was. Each network brought a different flavor. NBC was all about heartfelt family stories, CBS leaned into classic crime solving, ABC tried mixing grit with country charm, and Fox, still the rebellious new kid, was just out here winging it. Now, technically, there were Sunday night movies and 60 Minutes in the mix, but today we're skipping the news and made-for-TV drama to focus on the shows. The sitcoms, both flops and greats, the dramas, and the ones you forgot you used to watch in your pajamas with a bag of Doritos while prepping for Monday morning's pop quiz. Now, before we get started, be sure to subscribe and share this video with a friend. It helps the algorithm show this video to more retro TV fans just like you. Now, let's get into the shows with number 12, Duet, Fox.
Well, now, hold on a minute. She told me she was nauseous and couldn't go to the gym.
Richard, she is eating like a pig and getting fatter every day. By the time she has that baby, we're talking Hindenburg.
Kicking off our countdown is Duet, and honestly, if you don't remember this one, you're not alone. Picture this. Fox in 1987, desperately trying to prove they belonged with the big networks, so they greenlit the most NBC-looking sitcom they could find and stuck it in the 9:30 p.m. Sunday night slot. This was basically bedtime for some of us back then. But anyway, Duet was about neurotic writer Ben Coleman, played by Matthew Lawrence, and his sweet caterer girlfriend, Laura Kelly, played by Mary Page Keller, being all cute and opposites attracty.
Well, I think I'll just go upstairs. Good night.
Good night. Night. She's a lovely girl.
You know, the kind of show you would have loved if you ever actually stumbled across it. But here's the thing, nobody cared about the main couple. The real stars were the best friends. Linda Phillips, played by Alison LaPlaca, and Richard Phillips, played by Chris Lemmon, who were loud, selfish, and absolutely shameless. They basically hijacked every episode, and Fox just let it happen. It was like if Friends had been called Ross and Rachel, but everyone tuned in for Phoebe and Joey instead. The show ran for 3 seasons, constantly shuffling cast members around like musical chairs. They even had Ellen DeGeneres show up briefly in season 2, playing, get this, a sassy, man-hungry secretary. She was probably thinking, this is fine, I'll just wait for my own show.
Margot, can I have the keys to the Ullman place?
It's not my job to tell you this, but since it's bad news, I'll make an exception. Scott sold the Ullman place this morning. We're talking big commission.
By the end, Fox gave up and created a spin-off focused entirely on Linda called Open House. That lasted exactly 1 season before everyone forgot it existed. So, there you have it, Duet, the show that accidentally proved supporting characters shouldn't carry a series, especially when nobody was watching in the first place. Number 11, Werewolf, Fox.
Lock your doors, turn off the lights, find a chair that's comfortable and safe. Prepare yourself for Werewolf.
Premiering July 11th, 1987 on a Friday evening, Werewolf was one of Fox's very first original shows and one of its most gloriously bonkers. The show was later moved to Sunday nights at 8 p.m. It only lasted 1 season, but it managed to squeeze in a 2-hour pilot and 28 half-hour episodes for a total of 29 episodes before vanishing into cult TV obscurity. Now, if this show sounds familiar, it's because we called it out in our countdown of forgotten 1987 TV flops. We dropped the link to that in the description if you're curious. So, let's talk about just how off the rails this thing went. The show followed Eric Cord, played by John J. York, a college student who kills his werewolf roommate to save lives, only to get bitten in the process. Now cursed himself, Eric went on the run, hoping to kill the originator of his bloodline and break the curse. While he searched for the big bad wolf Janos Skorzeny, played by Chuck Connors, he was hunted by a relentless bounty hunter named Alamo Joe, played by Lance Legault, because apparently one supernatural stalker wasn't enough.
Tell me something. You always use silver bullets. I do now.
The tone was part The Fugitive, part Incredible Hulk, and part late-night heavy metal music video. The effects, especially the transition sequences, were considered cutting-edge for late 80s TV, which tells you everything you need to know about late 80s TV. And then things got really messy. Chuck Connors tried to renegotiate his contract mid-season, so the writers frantically started rewriting episodes on the fly, using a body double and having his character silently kneel before some other more powerful werewolf named Nicholas Ramey, because nothing says we've got this under control like your main villain bowing wordlessly to a random new guy. Fox canceled it in 1988, and plans for a US DVD release were scrapped due to music licensing issues, the final insult for a show that couldn't catch a break. Werewolf was one of the earliest signs that Fox was going to be a very different kind of network. Whether that was a good thing or not, well, you be the judge. Number 10, Buck James, ABC.
You are attacking who I am, Buck. This time, I'm making the call.
Buck James was Dennis Weaver trading in his badge from McLeod for a scalpel and still somehow managing to wrangle cattle in his downtime. This show was ABC's attempt to turn a hard-charging Texas trauma surgeon into the next great primetime hero.
You're talking about a man who practically invented trauma surgery.
Well, bully for him.
Inspired by real-life Houston doctor Red Duke, who even consulted on scripts, the series followed Dr. Buck James, brilliant in the OR, reckless on horseback, and a complete disaster when it came to his family life. So far, so good, except ABC couldn't quite figure out what to do with it. Dennis Weaver starred as the titular doctor, somehow juggling life and death emergencies at Holloman University Hospital with a ranch full of personal drama. His daughter, Dinah, played by Elena Wohl, was pregnant and estranged from her husband. His son, Clint, played by John Pennell, was working through teenage angst on horseback, because regular teenage angst wasn't dramatic enough.
Hey, what do you say? There's a dance in Choco at the lodge tonight.
You're kidding.
Down home Tex-Mex. So funky.
God, I haven't been in one of those for centuries.
And his ex-wife Jenny, played by Shannon Wilcox, was still lurking around just enough to cause maximum headaches. Meanwhile, Dr. Rebecca Mayer, played by Alberta Watson, provided some emotional depth and a whole lot of eye rolls as Buck's long-suffering colleague who probably questioned her career choices daily. The supporting cast included John Cullum as Buck's hospital boss, Del Birdie as his loyal ranch hand Vittorio, and Donald Moffat in a recurring role as Les Grant, all perfectly fine actors trapped in a show that couldn't decide if it wanted to be St. Elsewhere or Dallas. The show premiered on Sunday nights at 10 p.m., never a great slot for a medical soap opera with delusions of grandeur, and after being moved to Thursday nights mid-season, it quietly rode off into the sunset, its final episode airing on May 5th, 1988. Buck James tried to lasso together hospital drama, family drama, and cowboy drama all in 1 hour. Spoiler alert, it couldn't. But hey, at least Dennis Weaver got to wear both scrubs and chaps, which is probably someone's dream job. Number 9, Dolly, ABC. Yes, Dolly Parton tried to bring back the classic variety show with sequins, sketch comedy, and a rotating guest list that could fill a Grammy green room. Well, she tried it twice. Dolly premiered on September 27, 1987 in ABC's 9 p.m. Sunday slot and ran for just one season with 22 episodes. It was Parton's second attempt at headlining a variety series following a similarly short-lived effort back in 1976.
Oh, hi. I am so excited about tonight's show that I just dropped everything to tell you about it. Oh, it's going to be terrific. Literature, history, satire, redeeming qualities. We managed to avoid all those things. I'll see you out front.
Dolly was backed up by a regular crew, including Walter Olkowitz as Bubba, Sal Lopez as Carlos, and Rich Brinkley as Charlie Boyle. Because even variety shows need recurring characters to keep track of the chaos.
Oh, sometimes I go walking through fields where we walked long ago in the sweet used to be.
This version had all the glitz you'd expect. Big musical numbers, comedy sketches, and a guest list that ranged from Oprah Winfrey and Pee Wee Herman to Tom Petty, Bruce Willis, and Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan showed up twice, playing someone called Starlight Starbright, which is either the most 80s thing ever or proof that someone in the writer's room had completely lost their mind. Even Miss Piggy showed up. Seriously, I'm not even kidding.
Miss Piggy! Piggy? Piggy, what in the world?
Howdy, partner! Won't y'all come in and rest a spell?
Dolly opened each episode with a monologue and often joined the writer's room behind the scenes, even penning one of the episodes herself. It was an ambitious mess, and you could feel the effort to blend old-school variety charm with late 80s pop culture. But despite the A-list guests and Dolly's unmistakable charisma, the show never really clicked. Critics couldn't figure out if they were watching Nashville or Saturday Night Live, and viewers didn't know what to make of the mix of country, comedy, and chaos. Ratings dropped quickly, and ABC canceled it after one rhinestone-studded season. Dolly later admitted that the pace of the show wore her down and that it just wasn't the right fit. Still, it's a fascinating time capsule, equal parts wholesome and weird, with Dolly doing her best to make it all work, and hey, it may have flopped, but it did flop fabulously. Number 8, Our House, NBC. This show quietly earned a spot in the hearts of families across the country. Our House premiered on September 11, 1986, and ran for 2 seasons on NBC. It was one of those rare shows you could watch with your mom, your grandma, and your little sister, and nobody fought over the remote. The premise was simple but sweet. When Jessie's husband dies unexpectedly, she's forced to move herself and her 3 kids into the home of her late husband's father for financial and emotional support. Gus Witherspoon, a grumpy 65-year-old Korean war vet with zero patience for chaos. What he got was 3 noisy grandchildren, a freelancing daughter-in-law, and a whole lot of feelings.
That's my daughter-in-law and my grandchildren. Hiya, kids.
They look like they've come to stay for quite a while.
They have, Mrs. Finley. They're moving in.
Deidre Hall was pulling double duty, saving Salem on Days of Our Lives by day and playing Jessie by night, trying to hold her family together while juggling jobs and grief. Patrick Duffy from Dallas appeared in flashbacks as Jessie's late husband John, reminding viewers of what the family had lost. Shannon Doherty, long before 90210, played teenage Chris, who had her grandpa's backbone and a dream of becoming an Air Force test pilot.
There's no way I can get into the Air Force Academy if I graduate from this school. They don't even have a track team.
So you want to go to the Air Force Academy, do you?
Chad Allen played David, the 12-year-old in the awkward middle, headstrong but unsure of himself. Allen would later become a household name as Matthew Cooper on Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. And Carrie Houlihan was Molly, the youngest, who just wanted everyone to get along. Wilford Brimley brought his signature gruff warmth as Gus, a guy who barked, scowled, and threatened to kick people out, but gradually revealed the wise and caring man beneath the stern facade. The Cocoon star's walrus mustache could have had its own zip code, and his evolution from curmudgeon to caring grandfather was the heart of the show. The show tackled intergenerational living with quiet charm, each episode ending with the family looking back on what they'd learned that week. Literally, we'd see the events of the episode flash across the screen in sepia-toned snapshots as if Gus were filing them in the photo album of his mind. It didn't have huge ratings, but it did have heart, and for viewers who were craving something gentle, earnest, and honest, Our House was exactly what Sunday night needed. Unfortunately, NBC canceled the show in 1988 after 2 seasons due to low ratings, blaming its tough Sunday 7 p.m. time slot, where it got steamrolled by NFL overruns and CBS's Powerhouse 60 Minutes. But for those who found it, Our House proved that sometimes the best TV happens when 3 generations just try to figure it out together. Number 7, Spenser for Hire, ABC.
Hey, name is Spencer.
He's got his principles.
What are you asking me to do, Spencer?
Choose.
Between good and evil?
Is it really that tough?
Coming in at number 7 is the show that asked, what if your favorite detective could throw a punch, cook a perfect dinner, and quote Shakespeare all in the same episode? Spenser for Hire premiered on September 20th, 1985 in ABC's 8 p.m. Sunday slot and ran for 3 seasons, delivering 66 episodes of brooding Boston drama, beatdowns, and literary quotes, all narrated by Spenser himself. Robert Urich played the poetically violent PI, a Vietnam vet and former cop who could cook like Julia Child and throw down like Gronky. In the pilot, his apartment literally went up in flames, so of course, the local fire department gifted him a converted firehouse to live in. Naturally, the city took that back by season 2 and Spenser ended up in a cramped Charlestown walk-up. He zipped around town in a vintage 1966 Mustang until it got wrecked and replaced by a shiny 1987 GT, but fans weren't having it, so later that same season, the GT was traded for a restored 1966 Mustang with Keystone mags. His backup? The iconic Hawk, played by Avery Brooks.
How is he? Just ran a mile and ate half a dozen eggs for breakfast.
I feel bad enough.
65-year-old man takes 2 slugs for you and you feel bad.
Hawk was a sharply dressed enforcer with a .357 Magnum and a strict code of ethics. He started out on the bad guy's side in the pilot, but switched over to Spenser's, proving he might operate in the shadows, but he knew right from wrong. When you heard him rumble, "Spenser," you knew someone was about to get taken down with style. And then there was Spenser's on-again, off-again girlfriend Susan, a school counselor who loved him but wasn't thrilled about the whole always getting shot at thing.
Damn, I'm glad we brought your car.
She left for San Francisco in season 2 to think, and in the meantime, Spenser tangled with ADA Rita Fiore, both legally and romantically. Susan came back in season 3, because of course she did. The show was filmed entirely on location in Boston, which made it look great, and also way too expensive.
He's going on at me. All I could think about was Joe putting another little kid in the ring, showing him how to use his hands.
ABC canceled it in 1988, citing cost overruns, despite the show generating $50 million for Massachusetts. Even Robert B. Parker, who consulted on the show and wrote a few episodes, admitted the books and TV series were 2 different beasts. But if you liked your detectives brainy, broody, and a little bougie, Spenser for Hire delivered exactly what it promised. Okay, time for a quick break. If you're enjoying this trip down Sunday night memory lane, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next countdown of forgotten gems and glorious disasters. Now, back to the countdown with number 6, My Two Dads, NBC.
This is me, Nicole Bradford. Cute, huh? This is my dad, and this is my dad. How'd I get 2 dads? They inherited me. Congratulations! It's a girl.
You know which one I'm talking about. The show that NBC decided was the perfect Sunday night family sitcom that was about a 12-year-old living with 2 guys who may or may not be her biological father. My Two Dads premiered on September 20th, 1987 at 8:30 p.m. on NBC and somehow turned this completely bonkers premise into a 3-season hit that ran until 1990. The setup was pure sitcom gold. After Marcy Bradford dies, her 12-year-old daughter Nicole, played by Stacey Keenan, gets awarded to both men who'd been competing for her mom's affections back in 1974. So now, she's living with Michael Taylor, played by Paul Reiser, a neurotic financial advisor, and Joey Harris, played by Greg Evigan, a laid-back artist. Because nothing says stable home environment like 2 former rivals raising a kid together. The show milked every possible awkward situation from this premise.
Hey, and who's Nicole then?
Hey, this is my 12-year-old daughter, man. Best 12-year-old in the world.
You mean I leave town for 5 months and you have a 12-year-old daughter? Woo! I'd say that moved you way ahead of me in the unconventional race, Joe. But wait a minute. I always thought that daughters came with 2 parents.
Judge Margaret Wilbur, played by Florence Stanley, would drop by regularly to make sure nobody was screwing up too badly. Oh, and she was also their landlord, because why not add more complications?
You want your daughter to worship you? Never happened. Know why? You're a father. You're around all the time.
The supporting cast included Giovanni Ribisi as Corey and Chad Allen, coming straight from Our House, as Zach, 2 boys competing for Nicole's attention because apparently this family specialized in love triangles. Dick Butkus ran the cafe downstairs, proving that even ex-football players could get sucked into NBC's Sunday night sitcom universe, and here's the thing that made it genius, they never revealed who Nicole's real father was. The show teased a DNA test, but Nicole destroyed the results because she was happy having 2 dads. We covered this whole unresolved mystery in our video about TV shows that ended with no closure, links in the description. My 2 dads proved that NBC could turn any bizarre custody arrangement into appointment television. Number 5, Married with Children, Fox. Remember when Fox decided to launch their entire network with a sitcom about the most dysfunctional family on television? Married with Children premiered on April 5th, 1987 at 8:30 p.m. on Sunday nights, the same night as The Tracey Ullman Show, and became one of Fox's first real cultural phenomena. It ran for 11 seasons and 259 episodes, making it the longest-running live-action sitcom in Fox history.
Scooch over. How was work?
Who cares? How's school?
Who cares?
Good boy.
The show followed Al Bundy, played by Ed O'Neill, a former high school football star turned women's shoes salesman who peaked at 17 and never let anyone forget it.
But the best part is, Peg, they're dedicating it to the most famous Polk High football legend. A hint, 4 touchdowns in 1 game.
You?
His wife Peggy, played by Katie Seagal, refused to cook, clean, or work, preferring to spend Al's meager earnings on shopping and male strip clubs. Their kids were Kelly, played by Christina Applegate, the beautiful but dim daughter, and Bud, played by David Faustino, the smart aleck son who couldn't get a date to save his life. The Bundys lived next door to Steve and Marcy Rhodes, played by David Garrison and Amanda Burse respectively, uptight yuppies who served as perfect foils for Al's schemes. When Steve left the show, Marcy married Jefferson Darcy, played by Ted McGinley, a pretty boy scammer who became Al's unlikely sidekick. The show was deliberately designed as the anti-Cosby Show. It was crude, loud, and completely inappropriate.
Honey, just how long are you gonna be home for?
Fox executives specifically told the creators to be as outrageous as possible, doing material the big 3 networks would never allow on air. While critics called it vulgar and tasteless, audiences couldn't get enough. It survived boycotts, controversy, and criticism from politicians like Senator Jesse Helms to become appointment television for anyone who wanted their family sitcoms with a side of chaos. We did a deep dive previously on Married with Children, covering everything from the boycotts to the behind-the-scenes drama, so check the description if you missed it. Married with Children proved that Fox wasn't going to play by the same rules as the other networks, and honestly, television has never been quite the same since. Number 4, The Tracey Ullman Show, Fox.
Who is this Tracey Ullman, anyway?
I feel pretty, oh so pretty, oh so pretty and witty and bright.
When The Tracey Ullman Show premiered on April 5th, 1987 at 9 p.m. on Sunday nights, it didn't just help Fox launch as a legitimate network, it also snuck in one of the most important pop culture debuts of all time. The show was a hybrid of sketch comedy and musical numbers built entirely around the talents of British comedian Tracey Ullman. And if you were a Gen Xer brave enough to venture into Fox's weird Sunday night lineup, you definitely remember the chaotic brilliance of sketches like Kay Clark, the aggressively perky office worker who made you question your own sanity, or Francesca that was half funny and half emotionally scarring.
My first date by Francesca McDowell.
We got this for your big date.
Oh, you shouldn't have. It's no big deal or anything.
Hey, bite your tongue. This is your first date.
I remember my first date. I was a typical high school kid, boy crazy.
And in between the sketches were weird little animated shorts about a dysfunctional yellow family.
And over here we have the tasty but repulsive sea bass.
Yuck! What the hell is that? Bark! Come on in, the water's fine.
Matt Groening drew them expecting the animators at Klasky Chupo to clean them up, but they just traced over his rough sketches, accidentally creating the Simpsons' distinctive crude style. They were never meant to be the main event, but 3 years later, The Simpsons got their own series and left everything else in the dust. The main cast, Tracey Ullman, Julie Kavner, Dan Castellaneta, and Sam McMurray, played dozens of original characters each week. You also saw early work from future legends like Nancy Cartwright and Yardley Smith, whose iconic Simpsons voices debuted here before becoming TV staples.
Hey, Kent. I'm Yardley Smith.
Your voice sounds familiar. Where do I know you from?
From my true crime podcast, Small Town Dicks, and nowhere else.
And there were some surprising guest stars too. Everyone from Steve Martin and Mel Brooks to Tim Curry, Keanu Reeves, Glenn Close, and Kelsey Grammer somehow got roped into Tracey's bizarre little universe during the show's 4-season run. Despite multiple Emmys and critical acclaim, the Tracey Ullman show ended when Tracey decided to move on after 4 seasons. Still, what a run! Turns out, all Fox needed was one brilliant comedian and some cartoon shorts to make TV history. Number 3, 21 Jump Street, Fox. Remember when Johnny Depp was on TV every week solving crimes in a high school? 21 Jump Street premiered on April 12, 1987 at 7 p.m. on Sunday nights and quickly became Fox's first real hit. It ran for 5 seasons and 103 episodes, 4 of them on Fox, and a final syndicated season after ratings dropped. The premise was simple. Send baby-faced cops into high school and hope nobody notices they're clearly pushing 25. Drug busts, gang violence, hate crimes, basically everything your actual high school guidance counselor pretended didn't exist, these fresh-faced cops were right in the middle of it, usually disguised as students with suspiciously mature jawlines.
Hello there. I don't think we've met.
Hi, I'm Tom Whalen. I just transferred in.
Oh, well, welcome to Riverside. I'm Hoagie Delaplank.
This guy running for president with the same name.
Yeah? He's a heck of a guy, too. You got my vote.
Leading the team was Officer Tom Hansen, played by a then unknown Johnny Depp. His smoldering stare turned him into a teen idol practically overnight, which was hilarious because Depp just wanted to be a serious actor, not a Tiger Beat centerfold.
Oh, hey, man, come on. Oh, hey, Jack, looks like your boyfriend's here. We're trying to, man. Both of you, come on. Hey, okay, man, we're going. Okay. We're gone.
He stayed under contract through season 4, earning $45,000 per episode, but practically begged Fox to let him escape. After he left, the show tried to carry on without him in season 5, and, well, let's just say the writing was on the locker wall. The core team included Holly Robinson Peete as the tough and principled Judy Hoffs, Peter DeLuise as the charming Doug Penhall, and Dustin Nguyen as Harry Truman Yoki. Stephen Williams took over as Captain Adam Fuller after the original commanding officer was killed by a drunk driver early in season 1.
Madigan's an anachronism. Still thinks that high school delinquents get their kicks from sniffing glue and stealing hubcaps.
Richard Grieco joined in season 3 and was eventually spun off into his own short-lived series Booker, because apparently one show about impossibly good-looking undercover cops wasn't enough. The series wasn't just a star vehicle, it tackled real issues. Episodes covered everything from AIDS to child abuse to homophobia, and back when PSAs were still a thing, cast members would deliver messages directly to the camera after some of the heavier episodes, just in case you missed the point. And get this, Fox originally wanted to call the show Jump Street Chapel because the squad worked out of a converted church, but executives worried people would think that it was a religious program, so they pivoted to 21 Jump Street. Smart move.
Captain?
The show was also one of the first major US series to be filmed in Vancouver, which helped kick off the city's reputation as Hollywood North. And the guest star roster read like a future Hollywood A-list convention. Brad Pitt, Christina Applegate, Jada Pinkett, Vince Vaughn, Shannon Doherty, and even Ed O'Neill all popped in at some point. After Depp and Nguyen left following season 4 and ratings declined, Fox pulled the plug. The show limped into a final syndicated season with younger replacements who were supposed to pass for teens. Plot twist, a 22-year-old still looks like a cop when everyone else is actually 16. Still, 21 Jump Street left a legacy. It helped define Fox as a bold new network, turned Johnny Depp into a household name, and decades later, inspired a meta-movie reboot where Depp and Robinson Peete returned in glorified cameos. We'll always remember this one as the coolest police precinct to ever hide behind a high school gym. Number 2, Family Ties, NBC. In the 80s, Sunday nights meant dinner, dessert, and watching Alex P. Keaton lecture his parents about capitalism.
I won't stand for this. This is a travesty. This is a sin against capitalism.
By fall of 1987, Family Ties was already a massive hit. The show had moved to NBC's 8 p.m. Sunday slot for its 6th season, but its core appeal was still going strong. It was basically every political argument at Thanksgiving, but with better writing. Michael J. Fox stole the show as Alex, an ambitious, suit-wearing teenager who somehow made greed look charming. He was joined by Justine Bateman as fashion-obsessed Mallory, Tina Yothers as tomboy Jennifer, Meredith Baxter and Michael Gross as their idealistic parents Elise and Steven, and later Brian Bonsall as little brother Andy, who time-warped his way to pre-K. We covered Andy's sudden aging in a previous video, links in the description. And while Michael J. Fox became the breakout star, the rest of the cast held their own. Justine Bateman's Mallory became a Gen X icon, and Scott Valentine's Nick, her monosyllabic, leather-jacketed boyfriend, developed a cult following that was strong enough to warrant 3 spin-off attempts.
Nick Moore, I'd like to meet my parents, Elise and Stephen Keaton.
Nice to meet you, Nick. It's a pleasure having you here. Hey.
The show was also an early stop for a ton of future stars. Guest appearances included River Phoenix, Gina Davis, Martha Plimpton, Courtney Cox, Christina Applegate, Tom Hanks as Uncle Ned, and even a young Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Basically, if you were an 80s actor on the rise, you probably passed through the Keaton living room at some point. The show naturally wrapped after 7 seasons and 176 episodes. Behind the scenes, the writers felt they'd told the core stories. Alex had graduated from college and was still living at home, which was becoming a stretch. Meanwhile, Michael J. Fox was becoming a movie star, and it showed in his salary negotiations.
Doc! Marty! You made it!
Yeah!
Welcome to my latest experiment. This is a big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
Well, it's a DeLorean, right?
Rather than run out of steam, the producers chose to go out with dignity. The finale saw Alex heading to New York to chase his career dreams, while the rest of the Keaton kids moved on with their lives.
Well, either you got that bank job or Richard Nixon has re-entered politics.
I got the job.
Whoa!
No wild cliffhangers, no abrupt acts from the network, just a warm, bittersweet goodbye. Created by Gary David Goldberg, Family Ties won Michael J. Fox 3 consecutive Emmys and gave Gen X one of its most iconic TV families. Even now, one note of that piano intro is enough to bring it all back. What would we do, baby, without us? Sorry, I had to. Number 1, She Wrote, CBS. Remember when Sunday nights meant solving murders with a cardigan-wearing mystery writer who could outwit the cops using nothing but charm and a sharpened pencil? Well, that was She Wrote, a cozy crime drama that turned a retired English teacher from Maine into the most prolific amateur detective in television history. Angela Lansbury starred as Jessica Fletcher, a mystery novelist with a knack for stumbling onto homicides wherever she went.
Once I realized you were in on it, I asked myself, how could the kidnapper be sure that Nigel would be in his room at precisely 12:02 yesterday? And that's when I remembered that he was expecting an appointment call from London, from you, Colin.
And when Jessica wasn't solving crimes at home, she was racking up frequent flyer miles tracking down from Boston to Budapest. By fall of 1987, the show was a Sunday night powerhouse at 8 p.m. on CBS. Angela Lansbury earned 12 straight Emmy nominations, and while she never won, the show itself picked up Emmy wins for costume design and music composition, cementing its status as quality television. And it wasn't just Lansbury carrying the load. Fans also came to love Cabot Cove's familiar faces. Tom Bosley as Sheriff Amos Tupper, William Wyndham as Dr. Seth Hazlitt, and Ron Masak as the bumbling but well-meaning Sheriff Mort Metzger. They gave the show its small-town charm and gave Jessica someone to gently correct every week.
Seth, look, I feel sorry for Winnie.
Winnie? What about me?
Look, if she'd come to me, I would have taken her in. But she didn't, Seth. She came to you for help.
But the real fun was the guest stars, and She Wrote had them all. We're talking everybody from Golden Age legends like Cesar Romero and Gene Kelly to future stars like George Clooney, Joaquin Phoenix, Courtney Cox, and Neil Patrick Harris. And some actors didn't just stop by once. They popped up in multiple episodes playing totally different characters, which became part of the show's quirky appeal. Each episode was like a theatrical showcase for working actors.
Want me to help you?
Yeah, just hold that platter still, will you, for me? Right.
Now what?
If you had a SAG card and a pulse in the 80s or early 90s, odds are you ended up in Cabot Cove, or in Cabot Cove. And of course, who could forget the crossover event with Magnum PI? We covered the whole wild story in a previous video, so check the description if you missed it. The show ran for 12 seasons and even added 4 TV movies after the finale. In short, CBS made a baffling decision to move it to Thursday nights in 1995 to compete with Friends, which tanked the ratings, but by then, Murder, She Wrote had already cemented its legacy. There were no car chases, no explosions, just Jessica Fletcher, a typewriter, and the polite confidence of someone who could expose a killer with a raised eyebrow. So, that was Sunday Night TV in the fall of 1987. It was heartwarming, chaotic, and kind of amazing. Now, we want to know, which of these shows did you enjoy and which are you learning about for the first time? Let us know in the comments section below, and be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Until then, this is Remember When.